You want a real American voice? Okay, settle in, because if you told me last year I'd be that neighbor, the one with a yard full of drama and police cars and recall petitions, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But here I am. And let me tell you, if you ever see your HOA's number light up your phone at 3:29 in the afternoon, run. Or at least grab some popcorn, because you're about to be the main character in a story nobody wants. See, I'd given the HOA their own special ringtonian air horn, loud and obnoxious, just to set the right mood. My friends think it's funny, but it's self-defense. I only ever hear from them when I've allegedly done something criminal, lickio, I don't know, on a flag that wasn't beige, or, God forbid, let my trash bin peek out from behind a bush. So, I'm in my kitchen making a late lunch, just another Tuesday, and that siren goes off. Makes me jump right out of my skin. I check the caller ID community office, of course. The time? 3:29. Like, what are they, the time police now? I wipe my hands, answer, and right away it's this clipped, businesslike woman. Is this Rowan? She asks, all official. This is Dalia with the association. We're at the gate. You need to let us in so we can access your pool. We're filling it today for community use. I'm sorry, what? For a second, I think maybe I'm having a stroke. You mean my backyard gate? My pool. She repeats herself, real slow, like I'm the one not understanding English. The water truck is on the way. The pool opens tomorrow at 8 a.m. for everyone. I swear, I stood there blinking at the wall. I think you have the wrong house. I tell her, trying to be polite. My pool's on my lot. I paid for it. It's on my deed. I'm not opening the gate. And it's empty anyway. I'm not ready to open for the season. She sighs, all exasperated, like I just told her I was painting my house neon pink. There's no mistake. The board voted. Because of a shortage, we're centralizing amenities. Your pool is now shared. You ever have a laugh escape at the absolute worst time? That's what happened. You voted to take my pool. I said, that's not how any of this works. She goes all Ice Queen on me. It is when the governing documents grant us authority over shared amenities. Good thing my pool isn't one of those, I shoot back. And there's no water. You're out of luck. She mutters, big mistake, and hangs up. Well, she wasn't wrong, just not in the way she thought. I text my best friend, HOA's trying to steal my pool, with about 8 eye roll emojis. 5 minutes later, my doorbell is going off nonstop, Sumiones, just leaning on it, you know? I check my camera. There's Dalia in her pastel power blouse, looking like she's about to evict a family of ducks, and with her a guy I call Polo Shirt because I never learned his real name. Water tanker idling at the curb. So, yeah, not a misunderstanding. I crack the door, blocking it with my foot. Hi, I say. Didn't know you were bringing the cavalry. She gives me this brittle smile. We're here to resolve this. You're here to trespass, you mean? I reply. Polo Shirt tries to play peacemaker. Nobody's trespassing. We need a place for families. Your pool is the right size. Your fence is code. Come on, help us out. I almost felt bad. Almost. Sorry, the pump's broken. I say, but my pool is not your backup plan. Dalia crosses her arms. You knew this was a community with an association. Sometimes that means sacrifices. Yeah, like not parking a boat in your yard. Not losing your property. Polo Shirt jumps back in. We're not talking about ownership, just designating your pool as an amenity. You'll still own it. I stare at him. In what world do you take someone's pool and call it a community amenity without consent? That's called an illegal taking. You can't just vote my rights away. Our attorney has advised us. Dalia starts. Perfect, I cut in. Email me his opinion and CC my attorney. She blinks. Didn't expect that. I do have an attorney, by the way. Not because I'm fancy, but because when I moved in, they try to make me repaint during escrow. My cousin hooked me up with a real estate lawyer, and I've had him on speed dial since. Dalia tries again. The board can designate amenities under Section 7.3. Yeah, I say, Section 7.3 covers common areas and association property. My lot is not common. You can tell me what kind of pool cover to use, but you can't open my yard or the whole block just because your pump broke. By now, a couple of neighbors are checking the mail, which is code for watching the show. Polo Shirt leans in, trying the sympathy angle. If you cooperate, we'll waive your dues for the summer. You get priority access. We'll handle schedules. Just say yes. I had to laugh again. Or you could fix the pump, rent time at the aquatic center, or let kids run through sprinklers like we used to. Dahlia's done pretending. We're past asking nicely. The board voted. You're required to comply. Nope, I say, locking eyes. Pool's empty, gate stays closed. If you come in, I call the police. She gets this look like she just bit into a lemon. This isn't going to go the way you think, she says. Then the march-off water truck guy just shrugs and gets back in his cab. I lock the door and try to shake it off, but my heart's pounding. That night, I stand at my back window, looking at the empty pool I saved for, picked every tile for, the whole 9 yards. I grew up renting. This pool was my dream since I was a kid. Now the idea of random people swimming in it while I'm at work makes me feel sick. I dig out my closing documents, check the plat map, the easements, the covenants, all of it. The pool's on my lot. HOA has 0 access rights. I send everything to my lawyer, just in case. Next morning, I wake up to a new notification. Emergency Amenity Reallocation Resolution. It's a PDF, time-stamped before they even called me, signed by the whole board. It says, in light of the current crisis, the board hereby designates the pool at Lot 42 as a temporary amenity. Owner is responsible for water quality. Board regulates access. No lawyer's signature, just 5 neighbors who think they run the county. Then ding, another notification. Violation notice. $250 per day until I comply. I call my attorney. He tells me, don't pay. Don't open the gate. Keep it all in writing. If they try to enter, call the police. Fenced backyard counts as dwelling trespass is criminal. That's the legal front. The social front? Even better. My neighbor Lorna, who rocks a permanent sun visor line, waves me over. You really turned them away? I nod. She grins, tells me they were texting the board group chat while still on my porch. Lorna used to be on the board. She quit when they fined someone for leaving a hose out. She says, you're the sane one here. Watch your back, they don't like no. By that afternoon, flyers go up at the mailboxes. Pool access delayed due to one resident's refusal. They didn't name me, but come on. The whole neighborhood knows. People glare, parents whisper, teenagers shoot me death stares. That night, there's a note on my door. Nice to know you think you're better than everyone else. Hope you enjoy your precious pool. I take a picture documentation, always. My attorney calls the next morning, tells me. Short answer, they can't do this. Longer answer, it's probably an illegal taking. He drafts a formal response, tells me not to pay a dime. Says if I try to put a lien on my house, he'll see them in court. Then comes the safety inspection. 2 community safety folks and Dahlia show up at 10 a.m. with a clipboard and, I kid you not, a bolt cutter. I open the door just enough. No, you're not coming in. Per our resolution, she says. Your resolution is invalid. I reply, and you still need my permission. They threaten to note I'm obstructing safety. Note whatever you want, I say, and close the door. An hour later, I get an email. Notice of intent to enter at 3 p.m. I forward it to my lawyer. He says, if they go in, call the police. I print the email and slap a no trespassing sign on the gate. At 2:55, I set up my phone to record. Right on cue, they show up, see the sign, and start arguing about whether their email is enough. I call 911. The dispatcher is chill. Officers are on the way. Stay inside. When the cops arrive, Dahlia tells them they're enforcing HOA rules. The officer asks if they have a court order. Nope. He looks at my property documents, nods, and tells Dahlia, without a court order or consent, it's trespassing. Polo Shirt is stunned. So, she can just say no? The cop shrugs. Take it up in civil court. But if you cut the lock, it's criminal mischief. Dalia threatens to pursue it. The cop just says, do what you need, but if you come back, bring paperwork or don't come at all. As they leave, Lorna pops up with her phone. I recorded everything. I almost hugged her. That's when the whole thing shifted from why me to, oh, you picked the wrong person. For the next few days, I turned into an amateur legal expert. Turns out, they can't lien your property for fake fines. They can't change rules without notice. They can't hide the budget. Which brings me to Jonah Lot 19. He calls, says Lorna gave him my number. He's an accountant, and the board's been dodging his questions about where the money goes. No reserve fund, pool's 20 years old, dues just went up, but they're blowing cash on rocks and catered meetings. Meanwhile, the pump's shot. Now they want my pool. Tessa's got a toddler, lives by the retention pond, finds me in the driveway. Says her husband got accidentally CC'd on an HOA email. She's mad, too. Tells me the board rejected splash pad ideas. Won't even allow neighbors to host private pool days. But they'll commandeer my property for equity. She's done being quiet. Jonah's done being quiet. Lorna's always been done. And I'm just getting started. Then comes the lien notice. Thousands in fines filed at the courthouse. My attorney files a lawsuit, gets an injunction. Jonah finds proof the board ignored warnings about the failing pump, spent dues on retreats. Tessa and I start talking to neighbors, showing them the paperwork. People are furious. The recall petition fills up. In court, the judge isn't amused, releases the lien, wipes the fines, tells the board to knock it off. Then at the recall meeting, the whole board gets voted out secret ballot, new faces. Jonah joins the board. Lorna comes back. Tessa's husband too. They kill the emergency resolution, clear my account, and send me a written apology. Your pool has always been yours. An audit confirms what we already knew: sloppy spending, zero savings. Dalia moves out. Polo sure turns out his name is Marcus, just sits quietly at meetings now. Months later, I refill my pool on my schedule, host a cookout for the people who stood by me. Kids are splashing. The air smells like sunscreen and burgers. And I catch myself thinking, what if I just opened the gate that first afternoon? Sometimes saying no is the hardest thing, but it draws a line that needs drawing. Here's the thing. For the good of the community doesn't mean you get to ignore boundaries. And volunteer doesn't mean untouchable. They told me refusing was a big mistake. They were right. Just not for me. So let me ask, where do you draw the line between community and personal rights? Ever had to stand your ground? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's talk about what justice means and how far you go to defend what's yours.